Welcome to another episode of Best Practices webinar series from Revver. Today we're going to talk about 5S audits and how to take your 5S audits to the next level. I am Rolf von Sozen. I am the Chief Solution Officer here at Revver. Today we're going to talk a little bit about 5S overview, 5S best practices, a little bit of how Revver can help, and that will be it for today. So first, let's talk about 5S or 6S overview. So the 5S's: sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Right? Why 5S? Well, one of the things is to reduce waste. It's the baseline standards, right? To ensure that we're minimizing defects, minimizing waiting time, eliminating extra motion, excess inventory, overproduction, eliminating unnecessary transportation or unutilized talents. It's about eliminating wastes and baselining our standards. So what's the first S? The first S is sort. So sort through all tools, equipment, furniture, etc. in an area and determine what should be kept and what should be removed. So some of the best practices are to get people involved, stick to a timeline, and be focused. Less can be more here, right? Set in order is the second S. Organize items and spaces in a logical, efficient, and comfortable way for people to use. Some of the best practices are to consider all your employees. Keep it simple. Make it clear and easy to adopt in terms of how to set things in order. Third is shine. Goal is to proactively clean work areas and perform maintenance on equipment on a regular basis. The best practices are to plan ahead of time, provide the right tools and space for the cleaning, and take small steps. Don't try to do everything at once. Maintain it. Sustainability here, right, which we're going to talk about as well. Standardize. Create a standardized structure on how to sustain your 5S. So some of the best practices are standard goes beyond documentation. Update frequently. So continuous improvement. Update this. Make it better and learn as you go along. Train your employees regularly on the standardized and best practices way on doing things. And lastly, sustain. So the goal here is to create a 5S mindset and culture by keeping your 5S system running smoothly. Keep communication open with your team. Consider the change management process and recognize progress. Make it something that really is part of the culture, part of what you're recognizing people for. Safety is the sixth S. So a lot of people are adding that S. A lot of organizations are focusing on that as well. Others make it just part of the regular, kind of make it part of all the other S's, but calling that out separately. The goal is to operate workspaces by minimizing safety risks, such as by making workstations more ergonomic or clearly labeling areas that are potentially hazardous. Some of the best practices are to act with consistency, share achievements and learning, integrate into the standard operating procedures and the training, all the learnings and things that you're doing for safety. So there's a few ways that Revver can help in using the interactive routines and checklists that we have. One is to standardize checklists with specific 5S sections and items can help there. Assigning, right? Schedule recurring 5S checklists to individuals and to groups. Accountability. Track 5S checklist completion and status. Analyze. Insight into the execution and findings of the 5S checklist. Action issues. Transform findings and observations into assigned tasks with due dates. Learning. Build a central repository of all findings from your 5S checklist. These are all the kind of things that are critical to really making the 5S program alive, actionable, and an improvement in your organization. A little bit about Revver, if you're not familiar with Revver. Revver is an easy-to-use app that connects your frontline employees so they can expose hidden losses in your daily operations, activate and connect the right people to solve those issues and losses, and then amplify the impact with actionable insights and a repository of learnings. If you want to learn more about Revver, visit us at revverscore.com or email us at info@revverscore.com or email me directly at rolf@revverscore.com and follow us on our social channels. Thank you very much for joining us for another episode of our Best Practices webinar series.